to dominate the media coverage of an event. They can inflate figures, they can deflate figures depending on the position of foreign policy.
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Arsafes, and today we'll try to make kind of a live patch for the Boss GT-1000. It'll consist of a heavy sound, like a heavy rhythm sound, a lead sound, and a clean sound with some reverb, delays, and some chorus. So for this test I'll be using the Inspector Guitars Katana 7.1 and the Boss GT-1000. I'll be actually making the patch not through the processor itself, but through the Boss Tone Studio. Okay, so let's start. I actually made a clear patch for this one with nothing going on, everything's turned off. Only like 2 amps and noise gates are here, but they're just here by default. I didn't do anything, so this thing is totally like default. First, let's start making the heavy sound, the rhythm one, because that's how I do it. I start with the heavy stuff because it's more interesting. So yeah. Amp 1. I kind of had some time to play around with the device and like tweak it a little. So to my taste, I think the maximum amp sounds like kind of cool for heavy stuff. So this is just everything set to like middle. Nothing's going on here. And for this video we'll use just stock cabs, so we won't use any like IRs, although the device actually lets you load your own impulse responses for the cabs. And there may be just like one little problem with that, and actually that's the only problem that I encountered with this device. It's that you can use only 5 IR cabs, so it gives you only 5 slots for them. That's kind of weird. I don't know why they actually did like so little. I mean, personally, I use just like 2 or 3, like on a daily basis. But for a device this fresh, I mean, it came out this year, I think it's pretty weird because I mean, many other devices, they have like multiple slots for IRs, going up to like 50, 100. But okay, that's like not a big problem for me because I use like 2 or 3. But today we won't use any of them. We'll just go with the stock stuff so that you can have an idea of how to make like a patch with this unit just as it is, without any third-party stuff. So okay, let's continue. So now we have this amp. First of all, of course, I'll just put a boost here. Oh yeah, as you can see, it already divided the whole chain. So here we have the first division and here's the second. So we'll use this one for the distorted stuff and this one for the clean stuff. And I should say that actually they also have 2 more kind of division blocks, so you can like do something like this. Or even like this. So you can make it like pretty complex. But we don't need that at the moment, so we'll just turn it off. Okay. So in the first block we'll put kind of a tube screamer kind of thing. They have the OD1, the Boss OD1. And let's try to use it as a screamer kind of unit. I think maybe it's like, oh, sorry, yeah. Sounds pretty good to me. Okay, let's actually see what's going on in the output. Oh yeah, here you can actually like select some cabs. This is what I have. These are my IRs, but we won't use them today. Sorry. So the original thing is the cab that's actually kind of glued to the amp itself. So you select an amp and you get just the original cab, and they're different for each amp. And I must say they really did good work with these matching cabs, because they actually sound pretty good with the amp they're supposed to match with. So yeah, we'll just use the original one. And actually, I've been trying the other ones, with mainly the 412 and 212. They don't sound as good as the original one for each amp. So they're kind of, like, okay, but I mean, let me just show you. So this is the original one. And this is the 4x12. So it's like, I don't know. So, original, I prefer it without the mic. They have like 4 mics here. The names kind of say for themselves. I mainly use it just flat. I think when you put it flat, this doesn't work. And like the position center. Okay, so we got that covered. And we get back to the tube screamer thing. I had a Boss GT-1000 before this one, and I noticed they have this thing that the level knobs of most of the effects are kind of really drastic. So I mean, if you take a real tube screamer and put the level like to maximum, it kind of works. I mean, that's how it works actually, yeah, for a heavy sound. But here, the like 100, the maximum level is just like too much. You see, it starts to choke, and the gain is like, it's not even middle. So I kind of keep it like 70 to 80 for this unit, like for the screamer thing. Yeah, I think it's totally enough. And the tone, I mean, my guitar is pretty bright itself, so I don't really touch the tone. As you can hear, it already has that like click, click. If the guitar would be like darker, maybe I would just like do something like this. It's already too much for me, so I'll just keep the tone like, oh come on, just on 0. So that's kind of it for the screamer thing. I mean, okay, I'm calling it a tube screamer, but it's an OD1, so just like for the boost. Let's call it a boost. And let's get back to the amp. So to my taste, I kind of feel that it's a little lacking on the low department. So it's like, I mean, this sound will totally work in a mix, because lows is not what you need on a guitar in a mix actually, because that's where the bass is. So this is kind of a mix-ready sound. But now we're doing like just a solo test, so to keep our ears pleased, we'll just add a little more lows. So let's try it out. Well, actually the bass here is like more of a low mid kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't affect like the subs. Doesn't go too low, so we can just actually leave it there and just use an EQ to bring out the lows. So they have 2 kinds of EQs here. I'm using the graphic one, and let's just, I think these are pretty much just like bell EQs, but they are pretty wide, so if I'll touch the 63 Hertz thing, I think it'll like go something up to 90 probably. Yep, that's what we needed. And we're doing a live patch, so I mean, the sound guy will just cut out the lows that he doesn't need, right? And we can have all the lows we want. Okay, sounds good. Now let's get back to the amp. So well, it actually already sounds like okay to me. I mean, I wouldn't tweak like too much. Maybe to my taste, I would just back off the middle a bit, just to get a more like scoop kind of sound. Pretty nice, huh? Oh, we actually have no presence. Let's check that out. Yeah, we brought the presence back. Okay, well, just let's leave it as it is right now, so that we can focus a little more on the lead sound. So for the lead, I'll actually probably put a little kind of a flanger just right before the whole thing. So let's keep it FX1. It'll be just really quiet and subtle. Oh, that's too much, of course. Oh, we actually don't have the direct effect here. Where is it? Oh, here's. Okay. Okay, that's how I put the flanger in front of the lead patch. Then of course we need a delay, right? They actually have like 4 different delay blocks. The delay 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are just like straightforward delays without any modulation, without anything, just delays. I don't actually use them because they have a master delay here. And this is where the fun starts. Like, they have a ton of different options. Actually, let's just go with an ordinary mono delay. And put it back to 1/4. Yeah, this is what we need. Okay, then we can put the high cut just like a little. Yeah. Again, some modulation. Okay, maybe just a little less. Okay, now we'll bring that a little more because in a live situation, the delay tends to just drown in the whole density of the mix. So just a little more. And sorry, maybe less. Okay, that'll work. So we have our delay here. We'll use the same thing for the clean guitar, so we're just keeping it here. Okay, now we need kind of a mid boost for the solo section. I actually have this solo level kind of thing that you can assign to to one of the foot switch that you just press it and it becomes louder. But that's not how we like to do stuff, right? So we'll just put in probably an EQ here. And just boost the mids for the solo part. Boom. Okay, just a sec. Yeah, I think that's actually enough. The flanger can go down a little bit. It's too much fit. Yeah. Now we'll try the clean stuff. So as you can see here, the divider can work in two modes. It's single and dual. The single one is how we're doing it now, just with like a channel selection thing. And the dual one, it just puts both like parallel. We don't need that. So single, channel 2, amp 2, this is not what we need. Let's maybe use the JC100. Yeah, sorry, the noise gate. So the noise gate we're using here, actually we can put it after the EQ. I put the release to 0 all the time. The threshold maybe a little more, because we want a tight sound, right? Yeah, and it detects the input. That's the best way it works. It takes your input signal, and that's actually the input signal is triggering the noise gate itself, even if the noise gate is if we put it after the distorted signal. So that's the most natural kind of way, to my taste, to use a noise gate, because if you just take the distorted signal as the trigger, it starts to like, if you want a noise gate to work better, of course you put the threshold a little higher. But with the distorted signal, you should put it even higher than you normally would, so that it takes away all the amplified noise that comes out of the guitar. And there's where problems start. I mean, all the tails, they start to just like fade out too fast and all that stuff. But when the trigger is the actual clean input signal of your guitar, all the tails stay natural, because it fades out when the guitar signal fades out, not the amplified distorted signal fades out, if you know what I mean. So I explained it like an ass, but I hope you got me. Sorry. So yeah, input. Okay, and now we can go back to our clean channel. And first of all, we'll put a chorus in front. And they have a dedicated chorus block, so you don't need to use any FX blocks for that. Okay, we'll change the waveform. And maybe add a little depth. Sounds nice to me. Now we get back to the amp, and again the presence is off. Let's try the bright switch. Yeah, actually we can keep the bright switch on, because it gives a little more like... It gives a little more dynamics. You can just feel it when you play. And we can just back off the treble and presence just a little bit. And they have this sag thing going on here. It's kind of there's a saturation mostly. And while I didn't find it like too useful in a heavy amp setting, because it just muffles the sound and that's all. But with the clean amp, it's kind of cool. Let's just try it out. It kind of works like a compressor, probably. So it almost distorts the signal, but just almost. It's still clean though. Okay, now let's turn on the delay. We'll be using only the master delay because, yeah, who needs all this stuff, right? Okay, now some reverb. And yeah, there are like tons of reverbs here. Normally I would use the shimmer. Probably without the 2-octave thing. We just leave one like unison and the second an octave higher. Sounds nice. We can bring the mod even a little more. It gives that cool kind of tape vibe going on. Okay. Normally I would also add a compressor before all this thing. Just like nothing too strong. Yeah, this is too much. Maybe a little more. Just to bring it out, I mean, in a live situation you cannot really control the attack and all that as good as you can do that like sitting down and recording stuff. So you need a compressor for clean live, unless you're Guthrie Govan or someone like that. We can bring out the lows just a little more. Sounds nice. Okay, now we'll get back to the lead thing, and we can just put a wah-wah pedal in front of it. And to do that, actually, we should disable the volume pedal because it'll work weird. So we just like max everything out so that it works in any position of the pedal. We don't need our reverb for this. And yeah, so now we have that out of the way. We can try the wah thing. There's also like a whammy shifting thing going on. Just let me show you. I'll just control the pedal with my hand now. So yeah. We'll put a wah. They have different kinds of wahs here. I didn't really get like too deep into this. I'm not like the wah guy. I'm just controlling it with my hand, so sorry, you don't see that. So normally any wah works for me, so I don't know. This doesn't, sorry. This is too throaty. Okay, the cry one was like pretty good. And let's put this here. We don't need it in the clean thing. So yeah, now we have this thing going on. And now we turn off all the lead stuff. So we just get the rhythm patch going on again. And here is where we start to assign controllers. So as you can see, we have like these CTL1, CTL2, and up to 7. But these ones, they're not like present on the GT-1000 itself. You have to get them as external switches and just plug them in, so we won't touch this. But what I kind of got useful for myself, if for example I have the patch on like 1, so that's number 1, that's the first foot switch on the processor, and I'm not planning like to change patches in a live situation. I mean, if I'm planning to use it like an amp with pedals, so I can just like press tom boxes, I'll just keep the 1 as a channel changer, so that when I just press it, it changes only like distortion clean. So that's what I'll do now. So this will be the channel switcher. Let's just find it. Yeah, here it is. Divider 1 channel select. So, and now I'll just try it out. Yeah, you see, I'm pressing the 1 and it changes the channel. Here, there's a cool thing. You can change any color of any foot switch, any button, anything. So actually we have like, and it has like an off and an on color. So let's just change it to, I think here off, it's the distortion channel. So that'll probably be red. And for the clean channel, let's put it like green. Okay, let's check. Yep, works. So it's like it's red when I put the distortion channel on, and it's green when I put the clean channel on. So that's how we do it. Okay, now let's get to the other stuff. There are 3 CTL foot switches on the GT-1000. And the third is mainly used as a tuner, so we won't use that. So we'll just use the CTL1, for example, for the delay, for the master delay. Here it is. And the CTL2, for example, for reverb. And we also have the bank switches here, but that's how I do stuff. I mean, probably someone won't find that as convenient, but I'm just showing you my own like workflow for a live situation. So I'll use the bank down also as a like control switch, because I don't really change banks in a live situation, so I don't need it. So the bank down, for example, let's see what we have there. So we have the channel switching for the clean versus heavy. We have the delay and the reverb assigned, and now we just need to assign the wah, the flanger for the lead channel, and the EQ boost kind of thing. Oh, actually, we can boost it with the level. Now we have a boost for the solo lead thing. Okay, so we need to use 3 more switches. And for the wah, I would probably let me see. I think the sorry, I'm not really familiar with this one. I think the expression 1 switch is actually turning on and off the expression pedal, but I'm not really sure. And the switch is probably just when you like go with your full weight on the expression pedal. I don't think I'll be able to check it out now because the processor is standing on my table, so let's try it. Whoops. No, I'm too weak for this. So let's leave it out of the way. But I'm pretty sure that that's what it does. It just, you can just assign it to the pedal effects as it already is, and it just turns off and on the wah pedal just like in real life. So that's how we'll leave it. The wah is not such a crucial part of this demonstration. Okay, now we'll use the bank up and down, right? So we need the effects one, that's the flanger, and the boost and the middle boost thing, the EQ3. Okay, so let bank down be, for example, the flanger. FX1, here it is. And the bank up will be EQ3. Oh. So now, when I press bank down, the effects is turning on and off, and bank up, the EQ is turning on and off. So why I do it like this and not just like patches with full, I mean with all the pre-set stuff. Sometimes I don't understand myself. Okay. My English is getting bad, so sorry, bear with me. You would probably ask why I don't just do full presets like one rhythm patch, like a lead patch, clean patch, blah, blah, blah. I do it for some of my bands, but if I, for example, I have some kind of just a gig work where I just need everything under my legs so that I don't have like weird patches that won't work with this gig, for example, then I just treat it like an amp and stomp boxes. So that's why I'm showing you how to do it like we're just having some pedals on the floor. So if you need this flanger, you put it on, right? If you have a solo where you don't need this flanger, just don't turn it on. And the same with the boost. For example, if you need like a quiet kind of lead, you just don't boost it. And if you need to boost it, you boost it. So that's why I'm assigning all these effect blocks to different foot switches and treating it just like a pedal board. Okay, so we assigned the stuff. Let's try it out. Okay, this is the rhythm patch. Cool. Now let's turn on the lead stuff. Yeah. And now, for example, we don't need a flanger and don't need a boost. We don't need a delay and need just a reverb. Okay, that worked. Now we go to channel 2. It's a little too loud. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, we need a reverb. Now we need a delay. So that's it. I mean, of course I could go like in depth with all this, but to show you the process of how just I make a live patch, this is how I do it, so hope you like it. I would actually like to say just a couple of words about the Boss GT-1000 actually. I was really surprised by the quality of the sound itself because, I mean, I was used to the Boss GT-100 and of course, I mean, it was okay, it worked like just for some situations, you could just grab it and go and play a gig and it would sound like okay. But this unit here, it's a really different level. I mean, it comes close and for me, by some parameters, even exceeds units like the Line 6 Helix, and it actually comes really close to the Arsafes, and don't think that I'm joking, it actually does, especially in the dynamic department, because I can really feel what I play, and that's really important for me. Probably with the cabs, it's like not as close, because here we have like only 5 slots for IRs. But nevertheless, it's a really, really awesome unit, so I would totally recommend it like to anyone. It's good for recording, good for live situations, and well, good for everything. And I'm not endorsed, so don't think I'm just like advertising or stuff, because it's really good and I really liked it. So if you have a Boss GT-1000, then you can use the stuff that I showed today. Maybe you'll find it useful. If you don't have it, go and buy it. It's really nice. So I hope you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below about which piece of gear you think that I should make a test of. And see you next time. Bye bye.